Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brittany and I am a homeschooling mother of now 4 kids. We have a 9-year-old son, an almost 7-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old daughter, and now we have a 6-week-old daughter whose name is Lola. So we had her at the beginning of December, and that is why I have been MIA. You guys, it has just been like the craziest last few months. I filmed a few videos, my last ones, and I thought that I would get time to really put forth some effort with my videos, and it hit the fan even more. We put our house on the market. It was on the market for just about 3 weeks. I think we had probably 21 showings, not counting the ones where the buyers came back in for a few things. I think they scheduled like 4 of those, with me being in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy as well at the end. And we were so excited for our house to go on the market, and it did not go the way that we first saw it. We were so excited to sell it, and it wasn't even our neighborhood. Like, we actually are going to be having a play date with one of our neighbors this week, but we had very picky buyers. We'll just leave it at that. We had very picky buyers, and we were so grateful for that to be over. And we were supposed to move into our new home latest in the middle of December. That was supposed to be the latest. And it ended up being 2 weeks later, and it wasn't even done. We moved in without some cabinet doors, without like the flooring needed to be fixed in a few places. There was just a lot that still needed to be done, but it was all like very superficial stuff. And our builder was amazing, and the people that worked on our house was amazing. I can't wait to give you a home tour, but it just was chaos. And we have actually just slowed down this week. My baby is 6 weeks old, and we have just slowed down this week without like 15 people being in the house, like working on things. So it's just been crazy. We were displaced for about 6 weeks as well. We thought that we would get to move in the middle of December, and like I said, it was the 30th we closed on the home. And then we spent New Year's moving in, and we still have boxes that aren't unpacked yet. But with all that said, we are just so grateful to be here. We love the area. We are now in South Carolina. We moved from Western North Carolina, and we love it here. We are just so blessed to be in an area where we got a little more land. We got a new home. It was newly built, and it's our dream home. So we are so grateful and incredibly blessed. And at times we feel guilty because we know that so many are not in that situation right now with COVID. But I just wanted to update you guys on what's been going on. So we are now a family of 6. We have had our child, our daughter that we were pregnant with for the videos that I have posted previously. And we're just so thankful to be back to like having routine and things like that. So I wanted to film our mid-year homeschool review for you guys, because I just feel like a lot of people need to hear that the plan never is like successfully filled, even if you have like a perfect plan at the beginning of the year. So we started our homeschool year in July. We typically do, just because it's convenient for us, we really get bored in the summertime. So we start at the beginning of July, just because I know that I also knew that things were gonna, you know, kind of go crazy when we had our baby, and then on top of that, we didn't actually know that we were going to be listing and selling our home and buying a new one at the time. So it just was a blessing to start that early and then have time that we knew we could take off, and I didn't feel the stress of like, oh gosh, like I gotta get back to school. I do have to say that I missed school. I missed teaching the kids. It is just like a normal part of our daily rhythm, and so when we have that in our daily schedule, I just feel like the kids know what to expect. Even if our schedule with school looks a little bit different. So I'm going to be covering the things that we've dropped, things that we've added, and for those of you who knew that I was going to be using Gather Around Homeschool this year, I just really hit that hard. I was so convinced that that was the perfect thing for our family, and for right now it is not, and I'm sad to say that, because I do feel like my opinions, my very high opinions of that curriculum led other people to use it. And so while I'm saying that I'm not using it, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's not a good curriculum. It just didn't fit our lifestyle right now. So I will be using it later on when my kids are a little older. I just could not make it work right now. And that kind of makes me sad, I'm not gonna lie. Got some decaf coffee. My kids thrive on being able to move around they thrive on short lessons. They obtain more of the lessons when they are shorter. And right now, sitting down and reading 5 pages a day with 5 worksheets after that, even if they're short and they are based on topics that my kids do like, it just was not working for us. And then I just felt like the Lord kept putting things in our path that would kind of stall our progress, because it was not working for us. Like, I didn't enjoy reading that much. The kids didn't enjoy listening that much. It just wasn't working. The mini units were perfect for us. A full unit is not. So now that I know that, there may be things that they come out with as far as mini units even later on in other years to come that I will buy. But I have year 2 still coming in as the curriculum is being written for year 2, and it is just, the curriculum itself is amazing. It's just not what our family needs right now. So with that being said, we are not doing Gather Round. We are actually piecing together our homeschool. And if you guys watched one of my last few videos, I had talked about reading The Call of the Wild and Free by Ainsley Arment. And that book really spoke to me on knowing that whatever other people say that your children need, you know your child the best and you know what they need the most. So my kids love being outside. We have had more screen time than I think we ever have, but it was because I was exhausted being pregnant. I was exhausted as a mother to our 4th baby and taking care of the other 3 and being nomads for 6 weeks with Christmas on top of that. It's just been crazy. But I knew what my kids needed, and sitting down for a long unit study was not it. So we have dropped Gather Around, and right now with language arts, we're just reading and writing. We're not actually doing a language arts curriculum. I have ordered Master Books Level 5 and of Language Lessons for Living Education, and then the Language Lessons for Living Education 2 for my daughter. So I've ordered Level 5 for my son, Level 2 for my daughter, because they are very short lessons. And while I feel like we need to be doing something regarding language arts and grammar and things like that, I just really want it to be short, to the point, and be done with those things for the day, because there are so many things we want to do this spring now that we've moved into this new home. We plan on planting a vegetable garden and a flower garden, a cut flower garden, and doing things with that, and being way more being outside way more than we were at our old home. Like I said, we have more land, so there's a lot more that we can do here. And we have implemented a little bit of the Teaching Textbooks 4.0 Level 4 for my son. They were kind enough, Teaching Textbooks reached out and was kind enough to let us try that out, and my son really loves it. It has actually brought out pain points that I didn't know he had. He has really struggled with like memorization of different things. And things that I felt like came easy to me and memorizing, not even memorizing, but just like things that we know day by day, of like, you know, 3 feet is in a yard, things like that. It sounds so easy, but just memorizing all those things, because it's so sporadic in a lot of curriculum, or writing a date, it didn't come naturally for him. But with teaching textbooks, we started with 3.0 and then upgraded to 4.0 when that dropped. And he has really come to understand why math is so important when he fights me on school, because he sees his grades from each lesson, and I think that was a big eye-opener for him. So we have implemented teaching textbooks. However, we were not doing school, you know, 4 to 5 days a week like we had been, because we were moving around. We were just all over the place. We didn't have a routine or a schedule or anything like that. And so we are currently doing a mix of teaching textbooks level 4, and then math lessons for living education level 4 as well, just because they're hitting in different things at the same point in their curriculum. And with us being behind in lessons, I feel like implementing both is kind of keeping him on his toes as far as what he needs to know for the whole year, if that makes any sense at all. Maybe that's just me, but he hasn't minded doing math lessons for living education in between teaching textbooks, because it gives us time to just sit together and snuggle. And then my daughter, I bought her, she was doing math lessons for living education level 2, and we kind of hit a wall with that, only because we were learning how to carry with addition and subtraction. And with those lessons being so short, we kind of didn't have enough room to practice what she'd already learned, and she loves math. And she was getting frustrated with carrying, because it was kind of one of those things where all of a sudden it didn't come to her as quickly as other things that she had learned in math did. So I bought her the Horizons Math books 1 and 2 for kindergarten, only because I wanted to build her confidence. So we're going to just fly through the kindergarten level, and then I'm going to go ahead and order her first grade, just because she does, like, I'm not kidding you when I say that she'll do 10 or 12 pages a day, back and front, because she just loves math. She will fly through some. Some days she does 4 or 5, some days she does 10 or 12. It's crazy, but she just loves math. So I wanted to build that confidence and give her time to just really know these things. So we just finished book 1, and then she's started book 2. And like I said, I think she did 5 lessons today. So she's really enjoying this. It's really letting me know that she's like where she needs to be with all the other things that we've learned for kindergarten and first grade. And I do feel like Horizons is a lot like a Becca, if any of you have ever used that. They're about a year ahead. So with her doing kindergarten stuff, even though she's technically like first grade, I feel like she's still going to be on a first grade level, no big deal. And she's going to fly through this. I bet she'll be done with this book in about 6 weeks. So I'm not worried about that a bit. And like I said, with language arts, we bought language lessons for living education level 2 for her and level 5 for my son, because I want to give them a good year and a half, because I know that we'll be outside for most of the spring and the summer and fall, for them to just be where they need to be at the end of next year, and for us to just not rush right now. We are just now at a point where we're getting in some rhythm and routine, and we're enjoying that, and I don't want a lot of pressure to be placed on any of us right now. So for like copy work and handwriting, there's copy work involved in all the master books things that we've implemented, and the kids wanted to learn how to cook and bake, so we have placed a heavy emphasis on that during the day, and at least once a week we're printing off a recipe, they're reading it out loud, they're writing it down, and we're using math while we cook and while we bake. So I also like to just stop and say, okay, if we were doubling this recipe, how much of this will we use? If we are halving it, how much will we use? Really putting an emphasis on the amounts of things, because the kids, Tate was having a hard time with fractions, just understanding that. So I really think that has helped him a ton, and they both love it, and it's getting them to try new things as well. So we have really enjoyed that. I kind of wrote out a little bit of a unit study, nothing crazy, but I wrote down verses that we would cover each week. And so I have Proverbs 16:24 written on a little chalkboard right now in our living room, and so they'll copy that every day, and we're going to memorize a verse a week that's related to food in some way. So right now our verse this week is, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. And that's Proverbs 16:24. And so it's related to food in a way, but it covers different topics biblically. So we love doing that. So with history and science and social studies or geography and things like that, we're covering it as interests arise, and we're actually finding that the kids are asking a lot more questions than they did before we even had curriculum for those things. So we're just letting that pop up as it happens and answering those questions or researching when they ask. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I'm so excited to be back on with you guys and telling you about what we're doing in our homeschool. And I will be bringing more lifestyle content to you guys, cleaning, daily vlogs, day in the lives, things like that I hope that you enjoy. You can follow me on Instagram at The Perfect Mundane, and I will see you again soon. Bye.